It was school summer holidays, so I was looking after my 2 grandsons and they wanted to go to the park, so I said, right, I'll just finish my coffee and then we'll go.
We called out to her and she didn't answer, and I kind of immediately knew that something was wrong. So I ran out into the kitchen and she was on the floor.
Luckily for me, my daughter heard me, and that's where she rang 999 and then started my CPR.
Doing CPR on my mum was the worst day of my life. It was really tough. I've done the first aid training, but you kind of never do it thinking that you're ever going to have to use it.
I remember being at home and both my children were here, being looked after by my mum, and my sister rang me to say, get here now, something's happened to mum.
The next people to arrive at the house were the first responders and the first set of paramedics. They kind of all arrived at once. They were discussing what to do because they didn't know if it was a problem with her head or her heart, at which point they decided to call out Essex and Herts Air Ambulance.
It was incredibly fortunate that her daughter was with her and had immediately started CPR. But we needed to manage Alison, we needed to make her safe, and we really needed to make sure we were giving her the best treatment possible. And so what we decided as a team is that we were going to do an emergency anaesthetic. We wanted to make sure we could keep an eye on her heart rate. We are breathing for her, and we can then make a plan as to where we're going to take that patient. And we wanted Alison to get to a cardiac centre.
They've saved my mum, they've saved us as a family, they've brought us closer together. We'll never be able to repay them. We can't imagine, obviously, our family without mum. So without them, we wouldn't be complete.
Her outlook on life is very different to how it was before. She just takes every day as it is. She sees joy in smaller things. Her recovery's been incredible. She's just Superwoman.
And it's not just the day itself, but all the support that we've had as a family since that event. But having that air ambulance service means that people can get the help that they need. I don't think there's really words that can describe what it means.
They give people the best chance of survival, and without them and what they did for my mum that day, I don't know if she'd still be here.
It takes minutes to learn CPR, and it only takes a few more minutes to learn how to use a defibrillator or an AED. I'd also urge everybody to look and find out where your local AED is to where you live, for if you do ever need it. I hope you never do, but you'll be glad you spent those few minutes. It is that bystander who performs CPR who absolutely saves that person's life. I can't emphasise enough how important bystander CPR is. We talk about the chain of survival, and if a link is missing, that chain just isn't complete. For the past few years, us at EHAT have taken part in Restart Heart Day. Restart Heart Day is on the 16th of October every year, and it's that one day a year where all across the country people are taught how to do CPR and to use AEDs.
Although my sister had tried to keep both the boys out of the room, he'd witnessed quite a lot. He was 4 at the time. He was very quiet for the days afterwards, and then he was in the bath and he was pushing down on a rubber duck, and his dad said to him, what are you doing? He said, I'm just doing CPR to help the duck.
I think people do assume that it is funded by the government.
Without people supporting them, they wouldn't exist, and we need them to exist.
I've never appreciated charity more, and I will never be able to thank them enough.
Ever since what happened to Mum, we kind of know not to take things for granted. We spend a lot more time together. We try not to bicker, but we're sisters, so it happens.
I mean, it's always been my mum and my sisters, like us 5. We're just a puzzle, aren't we? You know, if you took one away from us, I'm going to get upset. It's just everything, isn't it?
We spend more time together now as a family, and that will now take priority more so than ever before.
So I'm just so grateful for everybody that helped me that day. Every community needs the air ambulance. They're just amazing, amazing, selfless people. When you see your children growing up and then you have grandchildren come along, it's a circle of life. Life is good. Just waking up is good.